Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to start a video series on accounting. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the accounting terms credit and debit. But before I begin, I wanted to let everybody here know that I have written 5 Kindle books. If you're interested in any of those, go ahead and check out the links. Well, not check out the links. Leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll send you a link to those books, and you can go ahead and check them out. Furthermore, if you want to make this video very, very popular, then you can do one of two things. Either leave me a nice comment in the comment section below, or watch this video all the way to the end so you can get the watch time up, and YouTube will share it more likely, okay? At the end of this video, you will see links that will take you to similar videos in this video series. Alright, I will now tell you all the things you need to know. In accounting, you often hear the terms credit and debit. But before I begin an in-depth discussion about the terms debit and credit, I will tell you the etymology of the words debit and credit. You need to know this. The word debit is a combination of the Latin prefix de, which means away, and the Latin word habere, which means to have. Literally, the Latin word debere means to keep something away from someone. Now, this may sound confusing at first, but by the end of this presentation, you will fully comprehend what I'm trying to tell you. Because when you have debits and credits on you, okay, you would consider a debit something you're holding on to, and a credit on something you would give away. But the bank doesn't see it that way, okay? The bank sees it as, we're keeping your money away from you, and then if you have a credit, they're giving it back to you. And that's where it gets tricky. What is the etymology of the word credit? The Latin word creditum means something that is entrusted to somebody else. As you can see, a novice could easily confuse the words credit and debit. But I will end this confusion by showing you how to read a bank statement, because bank statements are very different than what, you know. So, in your case, when you have a credit on your own end, okay, you have entrusted your money to somebody else. Okay? The money belongs to you until you give it to somebody else. So, when you give your money to the bank, even though you would consider it as a debit, it really is a credit because you're actually giving it to them to entrust it to them. Alright? Money's not in your house anymore. Alright? Now then, when you place money into your bank, they temporarily own your asset. It's only when you come back to get it that they give it back to you. Technically, it's still your asset, so technically you would still file it away as a debit, but you have to really think of it in a different way. You have to think of it from the bank's direction. To the bank, that would be a credit to you and a debit to them. Okay? So like I said, it's a credit to you, but it's a debit to them because the bank is keeping your money away from you. But to the bank, your money, okay. Okay, so, I'm getting you all confused here, and I'm sorry. Let me clarify this for you. So, what you think is a debit to you is actually a credit to them. Because you are... When you do a credit, you are entrusting the money to the bank. So, what happens is, to you, your money is a debit. Because it's still your asset. To the bank, it's a credit. So, what you consider as a debit, which is money, to the bank, it's a credit. Okay? Now, when the bank gives the money back to you, you are actually getting a credit. but the bank considers that a debit. Remember, the money is yours the entire time. But the reason why the bank lists it as a credit when they get the money from you is because it's a debit to you and a credit to them. When they give the money back to you, they've entrusted it back to you. I know this is a screwy way to think of things, but you have to see things from the bank's perspective and not yours. And that is how accounting actually works. Now here's the thing. When the bank debits your money out to somebody else, okay, it's a debit to them and a credit to the whatever. It all makes sense when you start realizing how it actually works. But it is a little confusing, and you'll have to think about this for a while before you get the whole concept. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.